Hello folks, welcome back to episode 3 of Elite Talks. Can't believe it's been that long. I mean, you can check episodes 1 and 2 out, check out how my White Sox evaluations have aged, and the state of Nepalese cricket. But in this episode, we're going to do something a bit different. But first, let's talk about the new channel.
So basically, I was originally going to upload the Eleanor video in the beginning of, in the end of July, actually. So I went to upload it, and basically, due to some technical difficulties regarding my part, I'm only limited to using basic features. So when I went to upload it, I was on the uploading page like 3 or 4 times, because every time something came up. Because every time I tried to upload it, something came up. One time, the upload button was grayed out for some reason. Another was due to some technical errors in the video itself. So each time, and then when you have a new channel, each time when you go to upload it, it asks for your phone number verification. And the first 2 times it went well. I was able to give my phone number, and then the 3rd time, it stated that since I used my number too much, I had to use someone else's number. So I went and used my mom's number. So when it came time to upload the 4th time, it asked me to verify. So I put in my mom's number, it didn't work. I went to put in my number, and for both times it said each number is associated with too many accounts. So apparently, each number can be only tied to 2 accounts on a yearly basis. So since I couldn't upload, my friends told me to wait for 24 hours. I waited like 40 hours, and it still didn't work. So I uploaded the Eleanor Wonders Why on this channel, and like 2 weeks passed. Then I read somewhere that it'll actually allow you to upload videos if they're under 15 minutes long. So I do a test using a short. That works. I delete the Eleanor video on my channel, trim unnecessary things to speed up some portions, all to make it under minutes, and I'm able to upload. So yeah, I might have to wait another year to link shorts to videos or use my own custom thumbnails or A/B testing.
But hey, if you're into animation or whatever, check out the video after the end of this video. Which reminds me, before we get into the topic, be sure to like, subscribe, and share the video with anyone who might be interested in this type of content. Okay, so now we got all that out of the way, let's talk about today's agenda. So by the title, you can tell that we're going to debunk popular NFL conspiracy theories. There's plenty of conspiracy videos, and while they're entertaining, the fact is that 90% are not true. And that's like a conservative estimate, by the way. So, let's get to the first one. Number 1, Super Bowl 47 power outage. Played 28-6 in the beginning of the 3rd quarter. Jacoby Jones, rest in peace, just returned one to the house. And all of a sudden, there's a power outage. Just like that. I don't know if you could have heard my finger snap. And now there's mass panic because, the power just went out for half of the fans. People are confused. Come on, guys. There was even fear that there was a terrorist attack, like cyber terrorism, but the FBI got involved briefly and said probably not. It turned out there was a malfunction on the sensing equipment for the Superdome, and that triggered an automatic power shutdown. Well, for one side of the dome. There were multiple investigations after that confirmed the suspicion. Despite this explanation, not everyone was convinced. Ray Lewis, for one, didn't actually buy into the NFL's official explanation. The conspiracy theorists started doing what they do best. They started cooking. So remember in the beginning I said the game was almost out of reach? It was 28-6? Well, at the end of the 3rd quarter, it was 28-23. And the game ended in a final score of 34-31. In fact, the 49ers were inches away from winning. Many people believe that this call should have resulted in a first down, but that's not the conspiracy. People believe that the NFL intentionally did the power outage to stop the Ravens' momentum. It was so that the 49ers could magically make a comeback and boost TV rating. Okay, first off, there were 4 investigations done into the incident. Hell, the FBI was called, and everyone concluded it was an equipment failure. Also, it happened like in the beginning of the 3rd, not deep into the 3rd. There was plenty of time to mount a 3-score comeback. The 49ers scored their first TD with little under 8 minutes left. Another thing is that this is not the first Super Bowl to have a lopsided result. Super Bowl 35 had the Ravens win 34-7, and Lewis himself won MVP. The Ravens led 17-0 with 4 minutes left in the 3rd, and it was 24-7 by the start of the 4th. Super Bowl 37, the Gruden Bowl, 20-3 at half, 27-3 with a little under 6 minutes left in the 3rd. 27-3! Let's also not forget 28-3. The Patriots came back and no one suspected foul play. No sudden power outage or any weird scenarios. Super Bowl 48 was played in cold weather, had the number one offense versus number one defense. Surely you'd want this to be a masterclass to remember. Well, the Seahawks were up 29-0 at the very beginning of the third. Hell, this year's Super Bowl, 19-0 Seahawks in the beginning of the fourth quarter. Finally, a 34-minute delay is not the best way to close the lead if you're the NFL, because Baltimore has the equal advantage with a massive timeout. Sure, it stalls momentum, but Harbaugh can still take advantage. The 49ers punted right after this, and it took another 6 minutes until the 49ers got their first touchdown. So yes, this theory works on the tippy-top surface, but even doing a little research and thinking just for 5 minutes makes this theory fall apart. Number 2, Super Bowl logo conspiracy. So here are the 5 past Super Bowl logos, and here are the teams that played in each Super Bowl. Notice anything? Yeah, a majority of these teams that make it to the Super Bowl just happen to share the same colors as the Super Bowl logo. So 56, Bengals Rams. 57, Eagles Chiefs. 59, Eagles Chiefs. 58, 49ers, but where's the purple team? I don't see a purple team. If this theory is true, how do you explain 58? Oh, well, you see, at the same time, Kelsey started dating Taylor Swift, and Taylor Swift released this album at the same year. Okay, first off, the logos were actually designed years prior. They're made 18 months to 2 years in advance, and are teased right after the Super Bowl ends. The 58 logo was teased at the end of Super Bowl 57, over 5 months before Kelsey actually reached out to Swift. The album people are referring to, Speak Now, Taylor's version, was released on July 7th, 2023. By then, no one even knew of Kelsey's mission. He tried to get her number a day after the album was released. Also, I did research on the album, and that doesn't save the theory either. It's a re-recorded version of old songs plus unreleased songs. No brand new songs. The reason for these re-recordings is due to a dispute between the label and Taylor Swift regarding ownership of the original master recordings. By re-recording these songs, Swift can basically have legal ownership of these new masters instead of the originals. So to summarize, the NFL would have to have known that Taylor Swift would have a dispute with her label, release a new album, and that Kelsey was interested years ahead of time. Super Bowl 60 did not age well. Sure, it has many colors, but I don't see any red or navy blue. I mean, okay, I actually see red, but listen, there's basically every color is on that logo. So, come on, it's basically cheating. Belichick coaching tree. So you ever notice that every coordinator, protege, student of the greatest coach of all time, Bill Belichick, is not that good? What gives? You think that the skills should translate from assistant to head coach. Of course, the coach doesn't have to be a Hall of Fame level, but it's really weird. Here's a list of some of the coaches and their records as head coaches. That's not impressive. Combined record for the entire coaching tree, I believe, is 217 to 316. I had to look this up. So again, what gives? Why is this happening? Well, people believe that Bill Belichick himself is basically a double agent who's sabotaging his proteges. Okay, let's talk about this. First off, we have to understand the man himself, Bill Belichick. He inserts an extreme winning culture. He treats every single game day regular season loss as a Super Bowl loss. The idea that he'd willingly tank his proteges, the idea that he'd willingly tank his assistants with that mindset is ridiculous. And let's look at where each of these guys went. Judge, Giants, Patricia, Lions before Jared Goff, McDaniel, Raiders, Flores, Miami, Mangini, Jets and Browns, Daboll, Giants. All of these teams were either subpar or absolute train wrecks. And it's not all that bad. Daboll and O'Brien were fine coaching in Alabama, though college is a different story. Finally, we saw the Patriots spiral without Tom Brady. Brady won a Super Bowl without Bill, and during those 3 seasons, Belichick only managed one wildcard appearance. These coaches don't just not have Brady, they have young rookies, late round picks, and busts as quarterbacks while looking for dysfunctional rosters. So no wonder they all do poorly. If a coach was hired by, say, the 49ers or Seahawks, you'd probably see better results. Deflategate. Yes, despite Brady's suspension, despite the forfeited picks and fines, this is indeed more complicated than the Patriots' deflated footballs. You see, an actual study was done on this subject, and this bit's about to get really sciencey. So, NFL balls are usually prepared at about 11 to 12.5 psi. During the 2014 AFC title game, both teams' balls were tested in halftime. The Colts were in the normal range while the Patriots were below that range. But as we know, when temperature drops, so does air pressure. This is called Gay-Lussac's law. The footballs were prepared at room temperature and brought out into Gillette, which had an environment at 48 degrees Fahrenheit. So people in MIT did the math and they found that the footballs would have lost about 1 to 1.2 psi, which is expected. Now, this doesn't prove the Patriots didn't do anything, but it gives us a reasonable explanation for what could have happened. So, why do we have lost draft picks, $1 million suspension, and Brady missing 4 games? Well, initially, federal courts ruled that the NFL had gone too far for suspending him. The NFL appealed, and the Second Circuit said, okay, you can suspend him. Then the NFL's investigation concluded that Patriots employees actually deflated balls, and this was after the officials had already approved them. And while some investigations didn't find any damning evidence, the Wells report did conclude it was very possible this deflation occurred, along with the refusal of the Patriots to cooperate, gave many people the suspicion. However, at the same time, we established that pressure drops, and several scientific studies were done around this. As for the Colts ball, well, both teams' balls weren't prepared in exactly identical conditions, so this doesn't prove much. But yeah, do you think the Patriots actually deflated the balls or not? Let me know in the comments. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. Again, thank you for viewing till the end, and be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who might be interested in this type of content. I'll try to do an episode for Elite Talks, maybe around baseball, or maybe you guys can send me your conspiracy theories. Not just on football, but maybe basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, whatever. And I'll explain the reality. But yeah, see you.